Can't see Glenn anymore.
Okay. Good evening. As school district clerk, I'd like to call the school board meeting to order for March 18th, 2026. And could we stand for the pledge? The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice.
Welcome to newly elected members, Kathleen Gravel, and back with us is Mr. Hasselbeck, James. I was going to say Jim, but sorry. All right. First off, I'd like to recognize that our school board member, Jeremiah Nault, is remote this evening. And Jeremiah, you can hear us, and we just ask that you identify yourself, your location, and if anyone is in the room with you.
Sure, Phyllis. Jeremiah Nault. I am in a hotel room in Washington, D.C., and I am by myself.
Okay. Thank you. So going forward, all of our votes will be roll call vote with Jeremiah being remote. Okay, first order of business. Is there a motion to nominate a chairperson?
I make a motion to nominate Micah Patello for chair.
Okay. And
Second. Yep.
who's the second? Okay, sorry. Great. Any discussion or? All right. All in favor as for Micah as chairperson?
Roll call.
Oh, sorry. Roll call. Sorry. Roll call vote. Jeremiah?
No.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, James.
Yes.
Okay, Kathleen? Yes.
Say yes.
Yes.
Okay. And we already have
Yes.
Heather and Ken.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that passes. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And I'm going to have you switch right up
Oh.
here unless you'd like to.
Gotta move. Gotta do the rest of it.
Okay. So yeah, so this is our red line agenda. We can just. This chair.
So, okay, let's move on to 2.2, electing a vice chair. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to elect Rick Edelman as vice chair.
Second.
All in favor? Jeremiah?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kathleen? Yes. Rick?
Yes.
Myself, yes.
Yes.
Heather, yes.
Yes.
And Ken, yes. Unanimous. Okay. (2.3) School district clerk. Do we have a motion?
I make a
Heather?
motion to elect Phyllis Kennedy as our school district clerk.
Second.
Any discussion? Just kidding. Let's do it all in favor. Jeremiah?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Yes.
Rick? Yes. Myself? Yes. Heather?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Okay. Unanimous. 2.4 school district treasurer.
I make a motion to elect Ron Brickett as our school district treasurer.
Second.
And we'll roll call. Jeremiah?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Self, yes. Heather, yes.
Yes.
Ken, yes. And then finally, in this section 2.5, we will take motions to nominate a school district deputy treasurer.
Make a motion to elect Phyllis Kennedy as the school district deputy treasurer.
Second.
Second from Ken. Let's do a roll call. Jeremiah?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Myself, yes.
Yes.
Heather, yes.
Yes.
Ken, yes. Unanimous there. Okay, thank you. Are we doing number 3 right now?
I would suggest that we do not have the school board representative, so we can skip that. I was trying to get the people to speak who are here before we move to the. And I would have teed this up, but didn't know who the chair was going to be. So
Yeah.
And I would suggest that we move public comment up to this point of the meeting so that if people choose to make a comment and leave, they have that choice.
I make a motion to move public comment up.
First public comment, right?
First.
Public comment.
Yes.
Hang on, I gotta look at this.
So I'll make a point of order if I could.
Sure.
So second for that. This number 3 is going to take 75 minutes. There's a lot of other action items on this agenda that we should do prior to that. I think we should go through the full agenda as relatively quickly as possible because we do have people in the
Mhm.
audience, and we should not make them wait 75 minutes. We should do that last. Number 3
Mhm.
That would be my suggestion.
Trying to keep the lights.
New lights.
What?
I agree with Rick. Wow.
Yeah, if there wasn't anybody here, then I would say no
Right.
problem. I think because there's
Yeah,
other
I agree.
Swayze stuff.
Yep. Agreed.
So
Okay. So let's amend that.
I'll make a motion to move everything after number 3 up, and number 3 will be last.
Second. Ooh,
Ooh.
that's James. Okay.
Okay, let's roll call for that. Jeremiah?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Myself, yes.
Yes.
Heather, yes.
Yes.
Ken, yes. Unanimous. Okay. So that means we can move immediately on to number 4, an action on the minutes for March, for 3/4/26.
I make a motion to approve minutes from 3/4/26.
Second.
All in favor, Jeremiah?
Yes.
Kathleen, you can abstain too.
James?
I'm going to abstain as absent.
Okay.
Abstain.
Kathleen abstain.
Yes.
Yes for Rick, yes for me,
Yes. for
yes Heather,
Yes.
yes Ken. Okay. So that's 5 in favor, 2 abstentions. Okay. Okay. Where are the, oh, here they are. Manifest documents are going around. It looks that we have no nominations or resignations to report.
That's correct.
So we move to 5.4, Dr. Dawson's superintendent's report.
Sure. First, I'd like to welcome our new members, and I'll say a plural because James is still, not figuring it all out, but you're still relatively new to the process, and I know what that feels like to be new at this table. It's a different thing. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Newton Police Department and fire, and it seemed like every other law enforcement agency in the area that helped out with the situation that turned out to be at the Seacoast Learning Collaborative or the Sockwell building, which also has Seacoast Classical and is on the campus with Memorial. They were really easy to work with. I know Mr. Doyle was down there quite a bit, but the communication we have with the police department and the fire and so forth was very, very helpful in settling and giving us the ability to reach out to the community and provide information to the community about the situation that was there. Just letting people know that we do send in information when we can. We're not always able to send out every piece of information. And when things are a little vague, it's kind of a balance between providing information to give you a rough idea of what's going on, but not telling you what I can't tell you or what we as a district can't tell you at that time. And I do want to let people know that I had about 4 or 5 people that were emailing to check in with me. And it may not be every superintendent ever, but for me, that was helpful because we were able to quickly identify that there was a piece of misinformation that was out there by mistake. I think it was an honest mistake that was made. And I was able to sort of kind of put a thing on that. What I always worry about in especially in a situation like that is this thing, we don't know what we don't know. I didn't know that it happened, and therefore I can't put a lid on it or, kind of help to fix it. And SCA was great about that. They're like, oh my gosh, and they were, really good about it. So just it's okay to reach out, at least from my opinion. A quick legislative update on what's going on in Concord, and I'm glad Dr. Brown is in the audience today. She may throw things at me if I get something incorrect, which is good. All right. We met with some legislators last Friday as a Seacoast area superintendents and had a nice conversation with them about some of our concerns about some of the things that the superintendents in the Southeast region feel with legislation that's coming up. And just a couple of things that I just want to let you know that are on the table. Some of these things I don't think stand a real chance of passing. Other things are potentially more concerning. One bill that's in Concord right now would redefine the default budget to this year's budget. So next year's default would be simply the operating budget we have this year, which would not account for contracts, or let's say there was an increasing payment for one thing or another, special ed costs that increase that we're required to do and so forth. That would be very difficult in my view. There are some bills to basically require towns to adopt a tax cap of sorts that would apply on a 2-year basis, I believe. There's one up there that would require us. I know there was a lot of discussion in the budget process about how much the district should be retaining in all of the contingency and trust funds. The trust and reserve funds is a better way to put that. And they would cap that at 3%. And I know there was one particular person who's now at the table who commented thought we should be retaining like 10%, if I recall. So they would limit that to 3%, which I think would be interesting. There's a lot of conversation about students that receive educational freedom account money, basically EFA money, which is a payment made to people that are homeschooling their children or their kids are going through private schools and so forth. That money's available. And those kids being able to access education in the schools for up to 49% of their education while still retaining the EFA money and not allowing any district, and some districts are doing this now, to charge students who take EFA to attend the schools, or even to say, okay, if you want to be in the school play, it's going to be $150 or whatever. And they want to basically say if the kid does half their time in school or up to 49%, we are not able to recoup any of that. I haven't brought any of that to do because we don't have any students currently in that situation. They are looking at, there's a study group that is apparently going to be formed to look at converting all public schools in New Hampshire to charter schools, which I thought was interesting. And as of when I wrote this a couple of days ago, open enrollment was stalled in committee, but I now know that it's coming up next Wednesday at 1:00 in Concord. There's an education meeting coming up, and Dr. Brown is nodding her head. That's good that I have the date and time right. That is going to talk about the open enrollment process, which is still very much unsettled in Concord. So interesting stuff going on up in Concord that I think we need to keep an eye on, and I am doing that for the district. Also want to let people know that the incoming superintendent, I think it's Houghton, is the way he pronounces his last name, will be in the district on the 31st. I've invited him down to meet with our leadership team at the school district office and also our principals and assistant principals group to have a conversation so he can begin to get to know everybody and we can start to have some conversations about some things that are going on in the district so I can get him updated. So lots going on from that perspective. And spring sports for high school starts next week. And I believe the middle school sports are probably a week after that. Although it's cold, Chase Field is pretty much cleared off. So we should be ready to rock and roll for baseball and track and field starting next Monday.
Okay. So we don't.
Then you have something about.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. I was going on a roll, so I forgot. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
I also wanted to point out that we recently received a invoice from Zeal, who did the superintendent search. And Mrs. Kennedy and I took a look through, and there is a charge on there that we did not anticipate that has not, and I'm not really sure because I don't have the original contract because that was not something that I was looking at that time, for an additional $1,695 charge to run a background check on the incoming superintendent. And I'm not feeling comfortable about paying that invoice without there being a formal approval of that invoice at the board level, because the other two expenses that we're paying there, which is the second 50% of the original payment and the charge that they asked for that was approved by the board for the job to be advertised at the national level, that's all been approved. This additional charge of $1,695, right? I've got my paperwork. Is one that we have not been able to find has been approved by the board. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And I believe Mr. Edelman is going to follow up on that.
Yeah, but I'll also make a motion to approve $1,695 as a portion of the total bill of $11,780 to be approved for payment to Zeal as their final payment.
Can you explain that again as a portion of?
Yeah, sure. So the final bill is the 3 seconds. Well, I can't until somebody makes a second.
Oh, I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, thank you. All right, so previously voted to do a 30-day advertisement on the AASA for 2150. Zeal originally agreed to cut their fee that they quoted us in half.
Yep.
This is now the second portion of that agreed upon, which is $7,935. And then they did a third-party background check and reference check, and that we never voted on that, 1,600. And that totals 11.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we approved initially $15,870. So this is 11,000 out of that, what we've already initially approved, plus the background check?
This is the balance of that.
Okay, were we aware that the background check was going to be extra? Was that,
I don't recall ever discussing it,
okay, I don't recall discussing
Yeah.
it either.
but we voted on everything else. So like, I think Bob's hesitation is we didn't vote on this portion.
Right.
And your motion is to
Make the payment.
just do it. Yeah, I mean, I think they.
Yeah, I mean,
I
And,
think-
and for the record, I should have said this, we have received the report that is billed for. That I confirmed today that the report was received and it was fine.
How much do we pay when we do it? 'Cause
Money well
we do
spent.
background checks for other employees, right?
The background check that we run through the criminal background history check, the criminal history records check in the state is paid for by employees as they enter the district. I think Mr. Houghton will have to go through that as well by policy. And that's $47. This, I believe, involved a much more extensive look at things like credit scores and things like that.
So this wasn't just a criminal background check, it was a background.
Correct. And when it was described to me today by Mr. Rochers, actually yesterday, she pointed out there were obviously some extra pieces that they looked into as well. Much than what the background check that we run for employees or new board members or whomever is basically just an FBI check and a state police check. They just run through the different things. And occasionally we see small stuff come through on that.
So we're going to pay $1,685 to do a thorough background check on somebody, then ask them to do it again out of their own pocket coming into the district. That doesn't make sense.
my understanding is from speaking with Christine is that this background check would cover that. It's more than suffices the check, like we would forgo that based upon having this in the file.
Yeah, I think if you guys, wanted to, I'd have to look at the policy and see if it covers every, if he's an employee of the district.
Mhm.
So all the employees from substitute teachers to the superintendent go through that. If you guys wanted to include waiving that in this process, that makes sense to me.
I mean, as long as this hits the same criteria plus, then yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
And I would have to confirm that with Christine. I obviously haven't seen the report.
I'm just uncomfortable that they did something extra without letting us know that it was gonna cost us.
Well, I don't think that's a fair statement. I don't think any one of us can recall that we discussed it. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're doing anything that they haven't committed to. What I know of Zeal is they've done everything and then some for what they committed. So I'm not comfortable with that statement being made here today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't remember approving that, but it doesn't mean we didn't discuss it. And
We certainly never approved it. We never discussed this portion and approved it.
right,
I'm not saying that Zeal didn't discuss it with us.
I'd argue that communication expectations aside, that is money well spent to assure that the next executive of the school district is the correct person for the job prior to contract execution. So based on that statement in the aggregate and the other experience we had with Zeal, I think it's fine to move ahead. Maybe provide a little feedback for future clients.
any further discussion before we do a roll? Okay, let's roll call on this one. Jeremiah?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Heather?
Yes.
Heather, yeah. Ken, no. Okay. So that passes. So we don't have our student council representative here right now.
Correct.
So we will move on to subcommittee reports. We will reestablish. Oh, Jeremiah, you need something?
Nope.
Okay. I was just saying that we will discuss which board members will serve on which subcommittees at the next meeting. But for now, do we have any reports from previous subcommittees?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you want to go?
You want to go?
You can go.
No, good. I gotta find.
Rick's got a couple things.
I wanted, Rick, you could probably chime in because you were physically there. But the SCO asked me just to kind of give a brief update on their meeting, March 5th. They had, Rick came as a citizen and gave a little bit of information on the board policy, goal, kind of what we're doing, where our vision is. Gave some updates on the trying to get our vision as a district, incoming superintendent, talked a little bit about warrant articles that were coming up. Overall, it was engaged. They had 14 attendees. There were 6 new attendees that participated. A lot of great conversations around community engagement, district website, district-wide. Talked about special education funding, and just future planning. And they do not have a date for their next meeting, but Megan will get that to me. Unfortunately, Sam Olson had to step down from her role due to other commitments. So Megan is looking for more help if people are available. And once we have a date, she will send that over to me. I don't know if you had anything to add since you were there.
No, I think that's a good summary.
And that was for PR.
PR, yep.
Yep.
All right, so the Finance and Facilities Committee agenda or committees we met tonight. Couple things we went through, and Dan will come up and talk. Dan will come up and talk about this when I'm ready for that. We covered Swayze Gym and some finances around operating the Swayze Gym, and what try to get a preliminary rental fee together and a facility use fee structure. We went over the capital improvement plan, and Dan's going to talk to the board about a high school privacy fence.
Yeah. The bench.
Approach the bench.
I'll give you a couple.
I already
Use
know
them for
what's
my
in there.
fence. Is that a conflict of interest?
Huh?
I use them for my fence at home. Is that a conflict of interest?
Actually was looking at using that.
So what we are proposing is putting up a 6-foot cedar privacy fence in the back of the high school where the cafeteria area is. There'll be 3 openings. One will be a 10-foot opening for access, and there'll be 2 5-foot openings for access for utilities. What we're hoping to gain out of this is obviously the safety factor of kids when they're in the back there, if they're allowed to go out for lunch. It also will come in handy when we're sponsoring dances and things along that line where the kids can go out from the cafeteria and enjoy themselves and not worry about strangers driving through the property on our open campus and eyeballing the kids. Our cafeteria gets extremely hot during the later part of the year and the beginning of the next school year. It would be nice to have picnic tables out there where the kids can eat and enjoy themselves. Miss Belcher also was suggesting that she wanted to start a barbecue type curriculum for her class. This will enable us to put some type of barbecue system back there for her class and have an actual nice classroom back there. The Head Start program stated they would like that out there for their kids also when it comes to the gardening and outdoor projects. The other issue I have from a facility standpoint is whenever we rent that our cafeteria or or building out, we have a lot of people that would like that drive their vehicles back there and on the back lawn. And it's dangerous from the standpoint that we have a lot of utilities back there. And this would eliminate people from driving on that back lawn. No matter how much I tell them you can't drive back here, people will say, "Oh, I'm just dropping off a cooler." Well, I'm sorry, but we have underground propane lines and generator lines and propane tanks and all that back there. So this will keep people from driving back there also. The cost of the fence is on there is $26,498.56, which will be paid for through donors, 100%, no cost to the taxpayers. This will be donated from the Sanborn alumni people. Brentwood Fence has agreed to do it. The price has not changed in the last year. They've been excellent to work with. The gates will have panic push-out hardware on them, so they'll secure from the outside, but they meet fire code. So if there's a reason why we need to evacuate the back there, the push-out bars will open up those gates and kids can leave the fenced area. I believe it'll be a nice addition to this school, and it'll enable the kids to go out and enjoy their lunch and run around and scream and yell and do whatever they need to do. Because believe me, for those who are in the school during the day, during lunchtime, that cafeteria is deafening. So hopefully that would alleviate some of that also.
Dan, can you just comment on a couple things that we spoke about? First is the 10-foot gate where the children enter the school.
Right. So morning drop off, that's where that 10-foot gate would be located.
Yep.
And those doors will swing out. And I am going to request that those gates swing at 180 degrees. That way they're not in the way of any traffic or kids or line of sight issues back there.
And then the only other thing is upkeep on the fence and the estimated cost of that.
I would say probably every 5 years, we would probably buy a 5-gallon bucket of some wood sealer, probably power wash it and then seal it. Right now, the buckets cost, probably about $150 for a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, they're still working on the lights here. I would assume with proper care that fence will probably last 20 years.
Okay.
And is,
Does anybody need to see a visual? Oh, you have it.
You have it.
Yeah,
of
okay.
it,
Bob.
I make a motion to approve the fence.
Second.
Ken seconded.
I think this is great if anyone's ever chaperoned a middle school dance. Chasing kids.
I have a couple of follow-up questions.
Yes, sir.
Love the idea of the fence. Love the idea of the donation. 75 bucks a linear foot. It's a beautiful fence and an expensive one. From the donation perspective, as context, the conventional chain link fence, even with privacy netting, is about 24 to 26 bucks per linear foot. And I'm wondering if this is obviously much more aesthetically pleasing and
Right.
not just the building.
Right.
Much, much better than that privacy fencing. But I'm wondering if we are potentially missing out on future donation opportunities. I just have no context for future budget or future input from this donation.
Oh, no. I spoke with that group and they're very willing to do this. They were willing to do it last year. And I know they're struggling to donate money to the school right now. So anything they can give at this point, they're willing to give. I don't think that's an issue there as far as taking funds from one mouth to feed the other kind of thing.
That's all. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
You could achieve your privacy security goal at 1/3 the cost and maybe allocate 10, 15 grand to a different project if you had it on your list.
Right.
Is this from the Sanborn Summer?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And Dan is correct. The seminary has been they're up against a limit where they basically have to donate a certain amount to us every year. And they've been really super generous, obviously, over the years. They just paid to send, I think, the entire freshman and sophomore class in groups to Concord to go to the New Hampshire State Museum and things like that. So They've really worked exceptionally well with us over the years on all kinds of projects. And I think, and I'm speaking for them on a partly speculation based, I think they would like a more aesthetically pleasing fence on the property. I think that would be their preference for sure.
Hey, Dan, I got a quick question for you. How many feet is the fence?
Well, let me see if that spelled out here in the invoice.
280.
288, yeah, linear feet.
Okay, and is that going from the where we drop off students in the morning? Is that going from the corner of the building basically over to where the trucks are parked over by the corner? Can you just give me a rough idea?
Yep, since you don't have that, correct. It's going to go from the corner of the building where the athletic entrance is there. So that corner of the building, it's going to go towards that wide sidewalk where the morning drop off is. It's going to parallel the driveway in the back when it gets to the chain link fence there where we store material. And then it's going to wrap around to where the loading dock is and close that area up and meet the building once again.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that description.
Yep.
No further questions.
Counselor.
Can I approach?
For potentially useful context, Brentwood Fence is my neighbor in my business, and they're great community members and perform really well.
Thank you.
Good.
That's always
Great.
good to know.
Yeah.
Too. I assume they're a local small business.
Yeah, in right on 125 in Brentwood.
Nice.
Yeah, they've been very generous with the cost. In fact, when we discussed this last year, I called and said, hey, can you revisit this quote? And they said, we'll just keep it the same. Don't worry about it. So they didn't even jack up their prices on us over the year.
If we have no further discussion, we can move to a roll call. Jeremiah,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
myself, yes, Heather,
Yes, and thank you to the Sanborn Seminary trustees.
and Ken.
Absolutely.
Okay, unanimous.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just another point of order before we move on, because you mentioned.
Yes.
You mentioned subcommittee assignments.
Yeah.
Do
Yep.
you want us to send you an email as we have in the past?
Yeah, if you have, send me an email with your preferences, 3 preferences in order of first, second, third preference for subcommittees. That would be ideal. Any other subcommittee reports? No, probably not.
ISA has not met and policy and personnel.
We have arrived at first public comment. We'll give it a minute. Okay. Move on to new business, the Swayze Gymnasium lease. Rick, you have an update on that, or?
It's not my agenda item.
Oh, it's got,
I don't know why it would be me.
Yeah, that was,
we can speak to it.
I know that Marie has reached out to them. She would have had the update if she were able to be here this
Oh,
evening, but she's
okay.
ill. So
Was the question whether or not we should renew it, or?
it was, we were going to,
We're going to bring it to the whole board.
yes, they've requested to discuss an alteration of that lease based on a particular item that,
No.
The Swayze gym.
This is not, no. The
I
Swayze.
apologize if I'm ahead of
I
myself.
got it. So the Swayze gym, we have to renew the lease. I don't have a copy of the lease.
Yeah, it
Linked?
should be linked.
Okay.
No link.
So let me just bring it.
Ends at the end of 26.
It ends at the end of 26 and we renew for another 5
Yeah,
years.
you have a one
One
time.
time.
One-time option to renew for another 5 years, and then we'll have to renegotiate. I think the lease cost is $1.
$1.
Yeah, okay.
It's a smoking deal.
Yeah, so I think we want, I think we wanted to make sure we brought it to the board to get a vote to renew the lease for 5 years for $1. Take the option, and then we'd have to renegotiate the contract, and we have 5+ years to do that. Sorry, Phyllis, I totally forgot. Yeah, my bad. $1 per year. I'm sorry. So
It's just $5 total.
yeah, so that's substantially different.
Comment remains.
A smoking deal.
We do, and we do pay it.
I make a motion to renew Swayze gym for Please.
Second.
Couple follow-up questions.
Yeah.
I read the lease. It's great. Terms are very, very friendly. So thank you to the Chimberg Properties for being such a good lessor. Some of the responsibilities of the district, rightfully and correctly, include insurance and routine maintenance with an annual cap of, I think, $40,000 a year. Again, very reasonable and friendly terms. Again, I'm new here learning, just curious on context on our actual expenses on the property versus the lease obligation.
James, that's what I was going to
How
ask.
timely your question. So in the Finance and Facilities Subcommittee, we have been in parallel with this lease question, talking about the facilities use fees and a fee structure that we can apply equitably to different organizations that rent the space out, with the understanding, of course, that it is an asset. We want to retain it, but we do need to help, as Dan put it. What did you say? Something about the sting? Take the sting away a little bit from the maintenance costs? Yeah, just, make sure that those who are using the facility help with the costs of what incurs in terms of maintenance and general wear and tear, et cetera, et cetera. So we've been working on that. And as part of that question, we asked Dan to pull together a full report of how much it costs to run Swayze in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then knowing that some of those things are seasonal, right? Like your heat's going to be more at a certain time of the year, et cetera, et cetera. But to try and get the number down to what does it cost to run this thing for a day? From an electrical and propane standpoint to a custodial standpoint to all these things. And now that Dan gave us the report today. And so we're going to use that to try and work on a fee structure. But generally, it was about 49. Is that right?
What, I thought it was a day?
No,
Oh.
a year. You asked about the year, right?
Yeah.
Just under 50,000. Just under 50,000 a year to maintain that and run it.
Do we charge organizations now to use, like if they use it for basketball or baseball, do we charge anyone now? Or do they just do a facility use form?
Zero.
So we charge zero and
Yes.
they just do the traditional facility use form?
Yes, and the two main organizations that use it are Kingston Rec
Mhm.
for pickleball in the morning, and if you ever drive by in the morning, there's people there. And Sanborn Community Basketball is
The other
probably in there just as much. And obviously that, like other sports feeder programs into our district,
Mhm.
they're on pretty friendly terms. Like
Yeah,
we don't
so
charge
there's-
soccer to use the, Chase Field when they have their soccer out there and so forth.
Right. But unlike Chase Field, none, and I'm just speculating here, there's real costs that come every year to maintain that building that are much more substantial, and potentially in the future, even bigger costs in terms of, like the doors are broken, floors need refinishing. There's all kinds of things that needs to be done there. So it's the right time to start thinking about how do we start to partner with these organizations a little more without, of course, making it impossible for them. We want to make sure that we maintain the good relationships and the fact that their organizations do provide value to the district as well, as Dr. Dawson says, by providing these feeder programs. So we want to come up with a good, something that we can apply uniformly and equitably.
Mhm.
But also, yeah,
That's about it.
and I would just say, by also keeping in mind the people who pay taxes that don't use the building.
That's right.
So I think that's what we have to keep in mind.
Yeah, but the decision on the table today is what to do with the existing lease, which is
Whether we write a letter and extend the option. That's it.
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't see a March deadline on lease extensions. I'm just wondering the urgency of this. My preference would be to let the facilities committee sort out that question, like to ideally make this a cost neutral opportunity for the district, which I think is possible, or at least have a little more insight into what the net cost would be before voting to extend the lease, unless that puts us at risk of defaulting on the existing lease terms. I don't think can get
Yeah, I don't think it did.
I didn't see that deadline in March. So if that would buy us a month or two of time to figure out a fee structure
Yeah,
for
it does.
user groups.
Even so, my perspective on this is not that I don't think it should I don't necessarily think it should be cost neutral, just because, I mean, the idea that any rental fees that we could accrue would total the amount that roughly the amount that it costs to run it would likely be prohibitive for any of the organizations. I think that's a tough sell, and it is our building and it is an asset. So I don't know that, we should, if we want
It's
to.
not
we
our
should.
building. If we are leasing it.
Well, it could, well, that's another question, is what do we do? Because it could be in the future,
Or it could not be.
or it could not. Right.
And
So,
understanding if it's an asset or a liability.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately the neutrality of it from a cost neutrality standpoint, it feels unrealistic, and it is definitely providing us benefit as a district. Just in terms of sports teams practicing, we don't have rooms for people, even our own. That's another important point, right? It's not used exclusively by community team members. It's used by middle school basketball, boys and girls, for practices and whatnot. So it is something that we use as a district, not just, but that's a good question.
Yeah, totally fair. I guess back to the
Say.
lease approval.
Yeah.
I didn't see anywhere time pressure to make that decision right now.
It doesn't expire until December.
Well, as I understood it too, you weren't necessarily voting was your motion for us to in fact extend the lease?
The request at the last meeting was for us to extend 2 leases. One, we said absolutely not. The second one, we said we would bring to the board. If you remember.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One was,
is the motion on the
I made a motion to approve the lease.
Yep.
And then someone seconded me.
to approve
the extension of the
the
lease.
extension.
Yeah.
The 5-year lease, the 5 years.
Option.
And again, I think it's a sweet lease and we should do that, but why do it today when we could do it in October with no harm? And we will have more information based on, the good work that the committee's doing.
I don't know if we have the number, but how many days out of the year is it actually in use?
Quite a few.
Is it?
Dan, do you know that number off the top of your head?
It's pretty much used every day. During the summer, it's a little sparse, but during the regular school season, every day.
I mean, by Kingston Rec and Sanborn, or by middle school basketball, I mean, how much benefit does the school district? What's that?
The school district uses about
An eighth
by Park and Rec.
eighth of the time?
Yep. Yeah, it's basically the home for middle school basketball in the winter. So they have practices or games 4 days a week. And that's averaging 3 to 4 hours from about December 1st till about the end of February.
Does football still use it?
Football is based entirely at Chase now.
Okay.
Kingston Rec baseball is there at minimum right now.
Yeah.
And was last weekend too.
Yeah, and baseball spread out among all our schools. We're at Memorial, they're at Bakey, Swayze.
I think there's.
So you can either, we can either vote or you can rescind your motion. But we're not
Oh,
talking anymore.
I think we should vote.
Okay. I agree.
Okay, let's roll call. And this would be voting, just a reminder, the motion to straight approve the renewal of this for 5 years. Okay, Jeremiah,
No.
James,
No.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Rick.
No.
I vote yes.
I vote yes.
No.
Okay, so that does not carry. Okay, so we will just,
I'll make a motion to revisit.
Yeah.
Approval of this lease no later than 2 months from today.
Second.
okay. Jeremiah, did you get that?
I did.
Okay, let's do a roll call on that. Jeremiah,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes for me?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's unanimous. So we will revisit this.
With the implicit understanding, I don't think it needs to be in the vote, but with the implicit understanding, we'll have additional insight from the facilities committee on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be a good opportunity, to your point, for the information that Dan gave us tonight to
Cost versus revenue,
Figure it out.
potential
Yeah.
revenue.
potential revenues.
Board meeting that month is May 20th, which would be 2 days outside those 2 months.
Yeah, thank you. The
Okay.
2 board meetings from today. Thank you.
I assume that's what you meant.
That was the
I want to be on the record about that. Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to the SLC lease update.
That's me again?
Yeah.
Um,
Marie Wright.
okay. Yeah, okay. I'll read that then. Give me 1 second. Oh, yeah, okay. So the SLC had asked us to revisit the cost of the SRO in their lease, which means we would be and we were legally required to send a written response to their letter. So I'll read that letter. Dear Patrice and Kathy, thank you for reaching out about setting up a meeting regarding the SRO and revisiting the current lease agreement the SAU has with you. As you may be aware, the town election is today, and we will be welcoming 2 new board members. We would like to wait until those members are officially seated before we discuss this matter. We would like to schedule a sit-down with the superintendent and 1 board member in the next 30 to 45 days. Would a date during mid-April work for your team? Please let me know your thoughts. Thank you again for reaching out. Best, Marie Monday, Business Administrator. So that's where we're at with that. Anything else on that?
So I think what we would have to do is decide which one of us would be part of this conversation.
Yep.
Yeah, some money back. What do you think?
Yeah.
From the lighting vendor.
Well, I think what we discussed to the point is if you're opening, in my opinion, if we're opening up a lease, you're not opening it up for one section. Everything becomes viable at that point.
Yes.
And that was their request. Their request was to open up the lease, and we're agreeing to that. We're agreeing to renew, or I'm sorry, we're agreeing to review the entire lease at this point.
Yeah.
So
But it doesn't say that in there.
It doesn't say it in the letter. It just says sit down.
It was a meeting.
To that.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we just
A
agreed.
meeting, yes. To
We had
discuss
we had to
discuss
respond in 30
opening.
days.
Yes.
Yep.
And I should say it's my personal opinion that if you are going to review a lease, you review all aspects of the lease. Because there is legal costs that are going to be borne by the district in order to do this.
If they request to reopen the discussion, then yes, the whole thing is on the table. Not just one.
I think the only thing on the table right now is for us to meet in good faith to discuss the SRO portion. We're not agreeing to opening up the lease or making any changes at this point. I think we're just agreeing that we would meet in good faith, which is, I think, required by the contract.
I think that was the essence of the letter.
Yep.
So to your point, Heather.
Response?
Oh,
I don't know if we received a response. This was sent on March 10th.
Do you
So
know responsible for?
She has not mentioned that to me, no,
so
which I
So,
kind of feel like she would have.
so who, I guess we have to, one of us has to volunteer as tribute to go with Dr. Dawson or Marie to meet with them.
Assuming they do respond.
Yeah,
They haven't responded yet.
Yeah.
or we can nominate somebody.
Why are you looking at Rick?
Oh,
yeah, I would respectfully decline at this time.
who was involved in the negotiation of this last time?
Heather and I. Or no,
No, we did the.
we did the
in
SCA.
the SLC negotiation.
But this has been,
All of our time.
Correct. Yeah. We did SCA, right?
Yeah, the SLC has been here for at least since we essentially shuttered the doors on the middle school. So like a year later.
2020.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was before any of our time on the board. I would be willing to sit down with the SLC if they do respond.
Okay, I did receive a message from Marie. So she's watching. Hi. They already responded and said they will reach out with a couple of dates to schedule a meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to,
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
is that something that we have to vote on or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not.
And then what I can do is just bring back to the board and then we can decide what we.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you. All right, 10.2, school board goals. I feel like we discussed these last time, and we discussed that these would be we were going to replace potentially the goal, be dynamic, right? Constantly evolving to meet the needs of the district and where we're going. And we were going to replace the goal related to the superintendent search, now that that's finished, with something related to future vision and identity. And also, it might be good now that we have new board members, a new member, and James, you're with us, to look at these and get input as we continue to evolve them moving forward. We have 1 completed and 4 remaining. We can choose to just go with the 4 if we feel like I feel like that vision and identity one is probably a gap. We could choose to fold it into one of the other 4, or we could choose to replace. So
I do think that identity has a lot to do with district culture,
so number 3.
but that's a very large goal already with multiple
Yeah.
aspects. My biggest issue with the goals is that they're not measurable. How do you know you've achieved them? Right, the first one, right,
Smart.
increase proficiency by 5%, okay, and find a superintendent, okay. But the rest of them, how do you know you've achieved them? How do you know you're making progress? How do we know?
So you've got some criteria, like on goal number 2, it says at least 2 expanded new programs by June 2026. Each program serves a minimum of 50 students. Then you've got, yeah, there's a measurable. For 3, it's got the annual staff survey. I mean, the criteria is listed in there, but I don't know if you feel like it's very good. Maybe it's up or it's not specific enough.
That's my concern.
Yeah.
I mean, we could put like like annual staff culture survey by July.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we just put like a timeline on it. We'll review retention data next quarter. Could change it that way.
So maybe we can continue as we have in the past and just email individually some suggestions on the goals. And then we can bring a new version back to next meeting. Does that sound good?
Yep.
We can keep that on the agenda.
But I do think we could probably put the identity one, either in like the strength in the district culture. That could be sort of rounded into that to goal number 3.
Maybe we can send some bullets related to that specifically, and we'll decide whether it's big enough or to fold it into that one. Okay.
No, we have a policy on goal setting, policy BA.
Look, you have it up.
It's not prescriptive, it's suggestive. Progress to be appraised, relationship with superintendent, community relations, board meetings, staff and personnel relationships, relationship to instructional program, fiscal management of schools, policy development, risk management, and other areas the board determines should be evaluated. And we're to self-evaluate annually.
Is that our role or?
it's goal setting for the school board. But again, it's not prescriptive. It says May
Which year was that?
2018,
BA, right?
BA. If you go to the index and just click on the BA, it'll bring up the policy.
Yeah, you're right.
This hasn't been updated in 8 years, so. And again, it uses the word may, which I hate because it's not prescriptive, it's suggestive.
We need more shalls, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Best efforts.
It's both ways, though.
But it has the or other areas, which is your get out of jail free card all the
Right.
time. We shall do this.
I don't recall us ever meeting on this at all. In May specifically. Like, I don't think we've ever had a meeting just for school board goals.
Mhm.
I've been on the board.
Yeah, now I'm spending more time going through policies. There's a lot that we need to talk about.
I know who I vote for policy chair.
Well, it seems like we have an opportunity, right? We've both achieved one of the existing goals. We have new board members. We have a fair bit of new community perspectives.
Yeah, it's
Like a really great time
the right time.
to revisit all of these. So what I would propose is maybe looking at our existing remaining goals 1 through 4, where there are readily achievable metrics, right? I'd like to understand where we sit today based on those bullet points. That would be useful context. And then we can maybe make some edits or suggestions individually for future discussion.
Yeah, I would agree. So you had mentioned send an email. Where are we sending that email?
To me,
Okay.
I can aggregate the stuff.
And is it reasonable before we jump into that to get results as they stand as of today's board meeting in any easily available existing data? So like 5% increase in students meeting exceeding state proficiency in ELA and math by June 2026. Where do we stand on that as of May? Is it 10?
Yeah, we
or
can help
0?
get the
It's roughly when the tests are happening. So we won't have, I don't know, we get the results back faster now than we used to, but I'm not sure we'd have it in
We
May.
have data. Some of these metrics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Memorial just did what this week?
I think that's
It wasn't Newa, it was the other one.
Molly was selected for math. She
Yeah.
was-
oh, that's the
And she did it in reading.
what do they call that? The NAEP,
Nate.
National Assessment of Education Progress.
So if the thing's not done yet, let's leave it blank. But some of these, I think
Yeah.
we have made progress or not. So
I mean, that particular one is a very small group
Right.
of our kids. It's not representing the whole district or school.
All right, so let's do that. Now we can move to second public comment. Yay. Please state your name, town. Thank you.
Anything else?
I never paid attention when Don told me.
How many minutes do I have?
5.
My name's Scott Rollins. I'm from Newton. First of all, I want to congratulate all the newly elected board members. Fantastic job. Really excited to see what you guys have going on for the next couple of years. Secondly, I wanted to thank Rick Edelman for coming to the SEO meeting. He gave us a lot of really great information. There was some stuff to digest, and there was some pretty straightforward stuff, which was new to me. And I wholeheartedly encourage everybody to keep an eye out for the next SEO meeting, because I know that there's some really cool things that Megan's trying to get together to actually make happen. And it's been super informational. So please make sure to come to the SEO meeting if you can. And if you can't, please make sure to reach out to Megan or somebody from that committee so we can get you the information. So thanks.
Hi, I'm Liz Beebe from Kingston. I work at the high school, and I just wanted to ask, while you're doing goal setting, one of the things that we as staff had talked to many school board members about was visibility within the schools. And I know that you have work and real lives and real jobs and things like that. But I think from a staff and maybe student perspective, it might be helpful to actually see some school board members within the buildings so that when you make decisions for us, it comes from unity, I guess is how I'd like to see it. And welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for that input.
Thank you.
That was one of my goals always on PR, was to create a calendar where school board had events that were scheduled pretty regularly throughout the year. Worked collaboratively with the PTOs and the boosters, like coffee carts or, you know, gifts for like cookies for holidays.
Yeah.
Something we never really got to due to all of the chaos. But it's something that I would like to really focus on this year, is making sure that we are visible in the schools. For many of us, we are visible in
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. And Liz, you can come back up if you want. I didn't hear from you, but maybe you could verify what I'm about to say, or at least substantiate it. All that stuff is good. What I heard from many of the teachers that I spoke with is it's not enough, meaning that's the fluff stuff that's sort of taken that way now. I think they want us in, like, visiting some classrooms, or in some of the, like, just actually through the workday. I agree with everything you said, right? And I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, but that's what I was told from other people.
I think Heather's ideas are great. I feel like the PTO has, at least at the high school, has really stepped up for the high school and the middle school. They were doing things each month, and then we just had Pi Day from the administrators. And I mean, we are treated pretty well. So the fluff is fun, and we do enjoy it because it makes us feel appreciated. But what I'd prefer is, and I know that you're pretty supportive, so I'm not, this isn't combative in any way, but I feel like it would be really great. I have one classroom I'm in where if 2 students are there, it falls apart. And people are saying how we should have larger classroom numbers and things like that. And you're making decisions on some of those numbers. And I think it would be really valuable for you to sit in a classroom that has 7 students who are like herding cats, and another classroom that might have 20 students that sit there and do their work. And then there might be a classroom of 25 that has 6 students that are herding cats. So just to have some idea of what the climate actually looks like when making some of the policies. Does that make sense?
Very much.
Yes.
No, it's a lot. Thank you.
In the year and a half, 2 years I've been here, a couple times I've heard or been told
You want me to?
they don't want people wandering around the halls, is kind of how it was put, right? Most of you have kids in the school district. I don't. I have no reason to be in the building other than that. Like, you might come in for parent-teacher conferences, you might come in for other reasons. I have no reason to be in the building. The only time I'm in the building is now. So I don't know how that would work. I'll look through the policies, school board presence in school buildings. I don't know. I'm happy to do it, and I'm glad you're encouraging it. I just don't know the practicality, legality, whatever. So it's something we'd have to
I
look into.
think it's because you're a school board member, it's doable, but I think you can't just walk in and wander through the halls, right?
Right.
So it has to be scheduled.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to remember, we're going from an administration here that told us that we weren't permitted in the schools, and we weren't permitted to do this, we weren't permitted to do that, to I think we need to have a better understanding of what is permissible.
Exactly.
And how we can best get the information that and legally get the information that the staff is trying to convey to us.
And that's why I show that more for Liz's benefit. We've been actively discouraged from playing any part in the day-to-day activities at the school in the past. And if that can change, I'm all for it. But we do have to look into.
Yeah, I think the board has always been aligned with that. We want to make sure that none of us signs up to break the law, right? So like, Yeah, I think we would just want to make sure that we're working within the full parameters of what we're allowed to do.
And we want teachers to feel supported and not feel like we're
100%.
there
Yeah.
spying on them, so to speak.
Yep.
Jeremiah, do you have anything? I want to forget you.
No, I think both points have been brought up there, which are all valid. The intent, the idea is great. There's just a history that's discouraged that, and I think a lot of that will depend upon superintendent comfortability and experience when it comes to that concept of school board members being seen and in and around the district more, not necessarily at will, but at least more. So I think that's a future conversation that we maybe can't make it at this point, but it's definitely valid and definitely well received.
Thank you. If there's no further public comment, I just want to circle back to one point from Dr. Dawson.
Yeah. Apologies. I had a meeting this afternoon with Mrs. Cartier, and she reminded me something that we didn't have on the agenda, but I would like to ask you to act on. I'm not sure how formally you need to act on that, but I do want to set the graduation date for June 5th, 2026. Barring a catastrophic weather event, we are totally fine on the number of school days and hours and so forth to do it on that day. And I know a whole bunch of senior parents would be extremely happy to do that. And then we'll come back with the full senior calendar to give you an idea of what that is. So I would like to be able to set that graduation date for June 5, 2026, 6 o'clock in the high school. I guess we'll call it the high school that day, gymnasium.
I would like to make a motion to set the graduation date for June 5th, 2026.
Second.
Discussion?
I bet you do.
I do. We're
You
almost
have some
there.
kind of vested interest in that?
She did a little.
Dr. Dawson, it's to be assumed that that specific date is the will of the administrators and the teachers who are directly involved in this.
Yes, if you ever dealt with a senior class from about May 1st on,
Yeah.
I love them and I really like a lot of these kids, but goodbye. Like, I mean, it's time. We're ready to move them on. So they're it's good. And it also gives you a whole week with your kids to sort of settle in and get them ready for the next
Ready to move, trust me.
They're good.
Absent further discussion, roll call, Jeremiah.
Sorry, one last question. I'm assuming that date has also been deconflicted with all of the facilities usage and anything else going on.
Yes, we've had a hold on that date for over a year, I think. So we normally, Tina in the office will always hold those Friday nights in June. The only possible thing we have is a setup for a dance company that is one we have done this before where they don't have an event Friday night. There's like 2 cars in the property where they're setting up the auditorium. So we're fine.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm not even sure they're here, but if they are, it's somebody I've known for over 30 years and I trust her completely to do the right thing because she's done it before.
Great. Thank you. Nothing further.
Okay, so
Further.
objections.
Yeah.
Roll call, Jeremiah.
Yes.
James, Kathleen,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
myself, yes. Heather,
Yes.
Ken, yes.
James,
Okay, unanimous.
James, lights, please.
There's a switch on the wall
90
there.
podium.
Okay, that moves us to the next meeting agenda, which I don't know what is normally said about that. Anything?
You say the day.
No, that's the next part. There's the announcement.
If you have agenda items, please send them to the chief.
Oh, thank you. If you have agenda items, please send them to me, to the chair. The next meeting of the Sanborn Regional School Board will be held on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the library at Sanborn Regional High School. Would anyone like to now call us into non-public?
Oh, no, we have to
Non-meeting.
do the non-meeting.
Non-meeting.
Yeah. And did we?
Oh, we got to go back to number 3.
Did we clarify on the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah.
We moved number 3. Okay, so now we're going back to number 3, which is a non-meeting per RSA 91A:2, Roman numeral IB.
Yeah, but most specifically, it's a non-meeting with the New Hampshire School Boards Association training session, roles and responsibilities and best practices. So that's what it's for.
Which is greatly appreciated, by the way, from your new board members. Thank you for
Welcome.
organizing.
This was Dawn's last act.
Yes, it was.
You.
What a gift.
If Moira was here, she'd probably say something different. An extra 75 minutes? I don't know.
Nope.
In fact, for
Yeah.
these reasons, why she's not here.
Yeah.
Right. And I know Mr. Barrett Christina from the School Board Association is here, and I think we're going to retire to the other room to do that in there.
We have to stay here with Jeremiah.
Yeah.
We can either way.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And I'm
matter to
gonna
me.
use the restroom, so it takes.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can,
Oh, we need to read in?
well, do we need to read in? Because
think
it's
you
a
do.
non-meeting.
One of us has to make a motion. We have to roll call.
Okay.
So I make a motion to move us into a non-meeting RSA 91-A semicolon 2 IB. Oh, no, 1B.
1B.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, let's roll call. Jeremiah,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
I'm yes.
Yes.
Heather, Ken.
Yes.
Okay.
Quick break.
Take a quick
Yeah.
break.